morning, friends. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Heather. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 kids, elementary, middle, and high school age. And today I'm going to be sharing a week of daily plans with you. Now, obviously, this is just Monday, the 20th of March, and so I have not filmed the rest of the week yet, obviously. But this is the start of the video. Anyways, it is the 20th. It is the first day of spring. I'm so glad we still have a lot of snow on the ground. So that is what it is. Today I woke up a little bit later. I woke up at 6 o'clock. I have been waking up later lately. However, with the time change, you know, setting the clocks ahead, it's like I'm actually waking up earlier. But I'm not, because the clocks were changed. So this morning I did do most of my AM routine except for my planning, which I'm doing at the moment. And we had our Monday meeting at 7:30 because everybody was awake this morning. Now, I did not actually do my homeschool planning yesterday, so that is going to be the first thing on my list today, homeschool planning, because this past weekend, my mom told me she was going to drive down to Florida, and I seriously considered during the weekend that we would go, but I did really consider going. But anyways, because of that, I did not do my normal Sunday planning yesterday because I was considering if I could swing driving down there for a couple of weeks. So anyways, it's Monday. We have done our Monday meeting. The kids are working on school already. What time is it right now? It's almost 9 o'clock, but they started at 8. I have taken care of the chickens. I got some stuff done outside that I needed to do. And Lucy is going to be starting school in just a few minutes. We have 3 weeks until our next quote-unquote homeschool break, but we're pretty much going to be done with everything except for math for the kids and then Emma's biology. And I've talked about this a little bit, that we're pushing her dissections until probably May, June, just so that we can do them outside, because I don't want to do it in the house. They smell awful and I just don't want to do it. So we're going to focus on her getting the rest of her modules done and questions and such, but pushing off the rest of the labs until it's a little bit warmer outside so we can be outside and do those dissections. I'm hoping that she can do them without my help, but we shall see. Today is really just going to be a day of kind of like a Monday reset, I guess. I try to get most of the stuff ready on Sundays, but like I said yesterday, I was considering leaving tomorrow to go to Florida. So that kind of put a damper on getting some of the planning stuff done that I wanted to do. Now, I did write out my list for the week. I do have a few things that I want to get done. So I did a couple of these things already. I did my weekly plan with me. I did not film any of this stuff. Okay. All right. So I think that today is really going to be mainly focused on homeschool. The kids have quite a bit of homeschool to do, so I am going to put that until 3. Will it happen all the way until 3? I'm not sure, but I am going to put read alouds here. We're finishing up history and the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens, which we've been reading. We've been reading that for, I feel like, 3 months now. It's a really good book, but we have so much conversation within reading that book that it is taking a really long time to get through it. And then I am going to try and work on projects this afternoon. We will see how that goes. I'm making pulled pork for dinner, but I need to get that in the oven because it takes all day. So I need to do that. I would like to make rolls. I do have cabbage, so that's good. I can make coleslaw. I've never made like rolls for pulled pork sandwiches. So I'm gonna see if I can find a recipe to do that today. We'll see. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time to do all these things. Okay, homeschool planning, which I still have to do for the week. Even though We've already had our Monday meeting. We kind of know what needs to be done over the next few weeks. I have it written down in my planner already, my teacher planner, but I do like to kind of break things down daily so that I have a good estimation of where we ought to be each day with the work to complete what we need to. I do also want to work on the downstairs hall closet. That is one of my areas for organization and decluttering for this month. I worked on it a little bit a couple of weeks ago, and it really is pretty much, there's nothing in there that I need to get rid of, but I just need to organize it better because I just don't have any containers to hold the medicines and the cleaning supplies and stuff. So I do have some bins, but they are large plastic bins with covers, and I just kind of throw like items together, but it's not very easy to grab stuff when you need it. So I would like to work on that. And then I need to also tidy up my office because I didn't do that this weekend. I need to do my spend tracking just to catch up from what I did this weekend. I want to have my daily tasks here, which if you saw my weekly plan with me, I talked about these daily tasks. I'm kind of using the Clean Mama system, sort of. I grabbed a couple of things. I'm taking the idea of those daily tasks and also from the Passionate Penny Pincher Home Planner, and I just chose 4 things that I really needed to focus on. And I think that what I will end up doing is putting these daily tasks as part of my habits for next month with my goal planning, and that is just trying to get these tasks in particular time blocks so that they actually become habits and they're not just things that, oh, I've got to do that at some point during the day. That does work, but it is much easier and becomes something that I don't have to think about if I have it at a particular time during the day. So clear the floors, vacuum. And this is another thing because my kids have vacuum as their chore. For 3 or 4 days during the week, the kids are vacuuming. So I don't need to focus on vacuuming every single day. And maybe I need to make it so that they are doing vacuuming every day instead of it being part of my daily tasks because it's not an everyday thing for me. I don't know if that makes sense. I know a lot of people will only vacuum a couple of times a week and then just spot clean, but we have a giant Great Pyrenees. She is always blowing fur, and so we have to vacuum daily. We also have dark floors, so it's very visible when you don't vacuum. So clear floors and vacuum is a morning thing, and then later in the day is clear surfaces and my office desk. Because what happens, I've mentioned this several times, is that I manage all of my papers, but then I put them in piles on my desk to deal with later, but I don't have a specific time that I deal with them, and then things just get cluttered, and I don't like that. So these are more later in the day. These are more earlier in the day. Patreon, I already checked in with them. I need to work on my exclusive content for the week, which is working on passive versus active decision making. It is figuring out the best ways to say yes and no, figuring out what things you want to say yes and no to, as well as multi versus single tasking. Everybody wants to be a multitasker. However, I have found that I am more productive and more efficient with my time when I focus on single tasks. It's really challenging to do that as a mom, as a homeschool mom, as a small business owner, because there are always so many things vying for our attention that making sure that we are dedicating specific time for specific tasks it's important. So I am going to be working on that this week because during our Q&A Last week, we went through our time inventories and talked a lot about finding patterns and how to see what you are doing when and whether it is the right thing for you and your family at that point in time. If you're interested, there is a replay of that Q&A in the Patreon community. I will leave a link for that in the description box. The other thing that I'm going to be doing is homeschool planning for next year. I have really been slacking on that. I'll do it for like 20 minutes, but then I will put it away. And I really want to get the majority of my lists done soon. I did already put in an order for homeschool stuff that we need prior to new instructors guides coming out on April 1st. And then I will have an order after April 1st for new stuff, new updated stuff that I need from Sunlight, as well as a few other things. I got Emma's Spanish 3 in the mail a couple of days ago. And yeah, so I'm really excited about next year, but I still feel like I have so many things to do and I'm kind of dragging with the end of this year. So there isn't really a whole lot of stuff going on this week. Matt ran to the grocery store yesterday and picked up a few things that I needed. So I don't have any errands to run today, and I'm really going to try and get the kids to focus on homeschool so that if we can really do a lot of school in the next 3 weeks, I will feel very good about ending our school year and just finishing out our math through the end of April. And then, like I said, the dissections, which will be when it is warmer outside and our hands will not freeze, doing those dissections outside. Okay, so Patreon exclusive content. I already posted my weekly plan with me. I checked in with Maine Homeschool Network. I will have a link for the weekly plan with me as well, because I am working through a new system for weekly planning. I have been using the Passionate Penny Pincher home planner for probably since September or October. Last year I was using the printables for 2022, and then this year I did purchase the 2023 physical planner. It hasn't been working for me, but I have been taking a lot of that information and translating it to my Erin Condren Vertical Weekly, which works better for my mind and thinking. So I do have that I just scheduled before I sat down to do my morning planning. Okay, so not a ton of stuff. The time blocking, I really need to be focused on homeschool during this time, but I am going, well, now it's 9. I need to make the pulled pork, and Lucy will be doing school while I'm managing that. So that is Monday. Happy Tuesday, friends. It is Tuesday. Yesterday went pretty well. Obviously, I talked about how we had already had our Monday meeting when I was recording this. I did get my pulled pork in and made coleslaw. I did not make rolls yesterday. We ended up just using bread that was in the pantry. I did not do any of my projects in the afternoon. I was instead doing some homeschool planning in the afternoon. I decided to do similar to what I am doing with a week of daily planning, but instead of a week of daily planning for homeschool, because I don't plan homeschool daily, I really do plan it weekly. But because I hadn't done Sunday planning this week, I ended up deciding to do planning from behind or reverse record keeping in my Erin Condren teacher planner this week. So I did film some of that yesterday afternoon, and I will continue to do that each day this week. And that video, I believe, will be up before this video. So I will leave a link in the description box if you're interested in seeing how I translate my my normal planning into planning from behind or reverse record keeping. It's really easy, and at this point in the year, it's especially easy because everybody knows what they need to do in order to be done with school. And I've mentioned this many times that we should be done with pretty much everything over the next 3 weeks. I did do my homeschool planning yesterday afternoon. However, I should have had more time to work on projects, but unfortunately, as I was doing my homeschool planning, my dog was very agitated, and so she had seen a fox grab one of the chickens, and she chased down the fox dropped the chicken, the dog led Jack to the chicken. It was a whole thing yesterday afternoon. So I did not spend any time doing any sort of projects. Didn't do my spend tracking. I didn't clean up my office. I did do some of my office desk, but not all of it. But the whole day was quite good, and I was pleased with how things went, and I had a lot of really good conversation with Emma around lunchtime about homeschooling next year. Part of that is I'm reading the Teenage Liberation Handbook. I just read one of Blake Bull's books, College Without High School. These types of books are really interesting, talking about unschooling. This entire first section, until where this bookmark is essentially just about trying to convince your parents to take you out of public school. So a lot of that is not really applicable to our lives because we've always been homeschoolers, but I've been spending quite a bit of time doing some research on that, and Emma and I had some really good conversation yesterday. So today is Tuesday, the 21st. Oh, you know what? I added some other things. I had to call the dentist for Lucy to set her up for an appointment, and they actually had an appointment open this afternoon, so that's going to change what I had originally thought I would do today. And then I also did record Homeschool Planning from Behind. I'm so glad that it's spring. I was looking at the weather and see that we do have snow this weekend, next week, so hopefully that will disappear. But today it looks like it's going to be 50 degrees, so that is really good. Leftovers today. I was up at 4:30 this morning and did my full AM routine, which right now is Bible, coffee. I have several books that I'm reading, nonfiction books. I'm reading a couple of books on praying for your spouse, praying for your husband, and praying for your kids. I also did my personal journaling, and I have this book called 52 Weeks of Lists. And so because I love lists so much, it's kind of just a writing prompt, and then you make a list based on that writing prompt. So I was doing that this morning. I was also reading this book and trying to underline and annotate, and it makes reading take so much longer when I do that. And I think I've mentioned this before, but I tend to like to just read through a book once and then go back and annotate it, but just so I can get a general understanding of the full book first. But this one, it seemed like it's really thick and it's really small words, so I wanted to kind of just go through it. And honestly, I've just been scanning the first couple of sections because they don't really apply to us as homeschoolers already. Lucy has her appointment. When do I have to leave? I think I have to leave at like 1:15. When does it go? 1:40 to 2:40. So I'm probably going to be gone until like 3 o'clock with that. Kids started homeschool at 8. Right now it's 9:37. When I do these daily week of daily plans, I tend to do my planning much later than I ought to. Lucy is doing school right now. I need to sit down with Emma to work on geometry, read alouds. And then this afternoon, I'm hoping to do projects this afternoon. And my projects are going to be the same ones that were yesterday, in addition to some video editing. Okay, so chicken chores I already did. I need to do my daily tasks. Then my projects for today are going to be, again, the downstairs hall closet, cleaning out my office, spend tracking. I need to work on Patreon. I need to do my edit of Homeschool Planning Part 1. Now, I had said when I did my weekly planning, the last week of planning that I did in my Erin Condren Life Planner, that I was going to refilm my homeschool update for February, and I haven't done that, and it's March 21st, and so I'm just going to not film an update for February and wait until the end of this period of homeschooling, and then I will just do another update like the first or second week in April. Edit my homeschool planning video, part 1. of many. And that's going to go up on Wednesday. I will have links for these in the description box because they will already be up. I did check in with Maine Homeschool Network. I need to write my email to go out for tomorrow. And I think that is about it. Emma and I have been watching Haven at night, or a movie. Last night we watched an episode of Haven and then finished watching The Princess Diaries 2 with Lucy. That has been our evenings, and Matt and Jack have been watching The Hunger Games because he is reading through The Hunger Games right now. They watched the first Hunger Games and then they started Catching Fire. I'm not sure if they finished it yet, and he's in the middle of reading book 3 right now. So this is kind of my time blocks for today. It's kind of an abbreviated homeschool day. Emma and Jack will have a little bit of stuff that they will do while I bring Lucy to the dentist, and then hopefully this afternoon projects for me and projects for the kids will be interest-led learning. So that is Tuesday. Happy Wednesday, friends. It is Wednesday the 22nd. Let's take a look at yesterday, which did not go at all how I wanted it to go. You'll notice that I've checked off none of these things. I didn't do any of my daily tasks, and my downstairs looks like it. And I also didn't work on my projects. So we had a really full morning of homeschool because I knew that after lunch I had to bring Lucy to the dentist. I ended up stopping at my mom's after Lucy went to the dentist just to chat. And so I got home, I guess around 3:30, and it was so nice out. Well, I guess it's relative. In Maine, it was really nice. It was 52 degrees and sunny. And so everybody was outside, and because of the nice weather, I just did not even think about looking at my planner and remembering that I had these projects to do. So I essentially just ignored all of my stuff that I should have done yesterday, but that's okay. I did get my homeschool planning video edited and uploaded, and I have to post that this morning, so that is good. And honestly, I feel like, you know, that was really what needed to be done. Do I want to get all of the rest of this stuff done? Absolutely. But when it's a nice day, it's really hard to, especially in the spring, when it gets to spring and we have a nice day, it's hard to want to work inside the house. And so it is what it is. Some days you have bad days, and that's totally okay. It was really full day, and we got quite a bit of homeschool done, which I was pleased about. Now, I think yesterday when I sat down to do my daily planning in the morning, I had said the projects that I wanted to do on Monday, and I didn't get done because we had other stuff going on in the afternoon, that I was going to move to this day. And honestly, I should have been able to do it during that little afternoon block, but I didn't. And so I'm kind of leery to put those projects on my list for today. I feel like maybe I'm not going to do them. I'm not sure. It is like 8 o'clock right now. I was up at 5:30. Emma was also up early, but I didn't really have my full morning routine because Lucy also came down early. So I did read my Bible, and I did have coffee, and I am doing my planning right now. This is my bare bones AM routine, Bible, coffee, planning. But I have been incorporating a lot of reading in the mornings when I get up early enough, going through several books. It's hard for me to read a little bit of a book at a time. I am much more read huge chunks of a book at once. So for me to have the habit of reading for 10 minutes in several different books, 5 or 10 minutes, it's hard for me to do that. I'm probably going to be planning until 8:30, and then the kids are eating breakfast right now. So we're having a bit of a later start for Emma and Jack. So everybody will start homeschool. Now, what do I have to do today? I have laundry. I need to clean the kitchen because I didn't last night. Again, I don't exactly know what I was doing. Daily tasks. Now, I've been talking about these daily tasks for a while now. Well, not for a while, but for a few videos, I've been talking about these daily tasks, and I want to really start implementing them at a specific time. And I think I maybe mentioned this yesterday or the day before. Within this video, maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes ago, I mentioned this. I want to pick a time that I'm doing these daily tasks so that I can then put it on my daily habits for my goals for the month of April. I think that that is what I need to do, and just figure out maybe a morning 30-minute time blocking section in here where I'm working on morning chores or something like that, and then again in the afternoon, because that is where I really struggle with the daily tasks, because there are so many things vying for my attention during the day, and I really don't like to break up my day that way. Like when I'm homeschooling, I don't also want to be vacuuming and folding laundry and checking emails. I just want to be working on homeschool. The same as if I'm working on cleaning projects, I don't want to be answering homeschool questions or trying to do other things. So I don't know. It's all about implementing new systems, and I just haven't figured out how that's going to work yet. My projects, I really do need to do the downstairs closet, and that is because I need to update my first aid inventory. Last weekend I did do our upstairs bathroom and storage closet and my master bedroom closet, and I do store separate things upstairs. I don't know, just depending on what we need in different parts of the house. But I do need to go through this downstairs closet, which has a lot of our first aid supplies and cleaning supplies, and just make sure that what I have isn't expired. I don't think that it is, because I have gone through it recently, and then just figuring out how to better store the things. We have wire shelving in all of our closets, and it's really difficult to organize bottles or other types of things on those wire shelves. So I need to have more containers for these things, but I don't know what types of containers I need, and I'm not really wanting to spend money on that stuff. I have gone to the dollar store to look for those things, because those types of containers, I don't want to spend a bunch of money. I don't want to go to Target and spend $25 on one plastic tote bin for the closet. Like, it just it doesn't work for my brain to spend that amount of money. But when I go to my dollar store, there is never anything for storage. I think that the people in my community must just get there whenever they have deliveries, or the things that I'm seeing on YouTube or whatever are just not available in our dollar store. I really need to do this, and I really also need to clean up my office. I don't need to really throw anything away. I just need to tidy some stuff. Currently, Emma has the majority of her school, and Lucy also does have a lot of her binders and books open on the floor in my office. I have those milk crates for the kids, and to organize their homeschool stuff, and all of their homeschool stuff does fit in those milk crates, but what happens is they just don't put it away. And so I need to implement an afternoon tidy. It probably should be part of my daily tasks. In fact, I will put it here just so that I have a record of thinking about it. Homeschool tidy. My kids work in all different rooms of the house, and will leave their stuff that they're using in all different rooms of the house. And I can see how this would be easier, because then they could just come back to it. Everything's opened up to where it needs to be, but it really should be put away. And I've never really enforced that. I want to put this here so that when I'm thinking about my spring refresh and these daily tasks, I am actually considering that as well, because that is the other thing that I want to start working on, is my spring refresh for my goals. I thought that I would do this earlier in March, but I haven't. So instead, I am thinking about all of that stuff that I want to do in April and May, because that's kind of what I think of as spring, and then June, July, and August is summer. And so I will probably do another refresh at the end of May for June, July, and August, and then spend tracking. You know, it would be great if I just would sit down and work on my finances It doesn't have to be an everyday thing, but what ends up happening is I forget to do it, so I just put it off. This is not something that I need to do every day. It's really only something that I need to do weekly, or mainly even monthly, because I do know how much I'm spending, but I'm just, like I've said before, I'm really deep diving on the categories that we are spending in and trying to make sure that I'm really realistic with our budget and with our money, and just trying to figure out where I can save money, trying to pare down the grocery budget, which is incredibly challenging. It is very difficult to buy groceries right now for a reasonable amount of money for a family of 5. It's crazy. So I think these are my to-do items. We are having pulled pork nachos for dinner tonight with that pork that I made on Monday. I think I made it Monday. Of course, I don't have any nachos, so I either have to go to the grocery store or put in a pickup order. I think I am also going to try and do a Sam's order. I need to go to Sam's Club, but I don't want to take the time to do it. And here's the thing, I really want to go to Sam's Club to see what is in the store for some different things. I need to do like a big stock up for spring, summer. That's probably not going to happen this week, but I do need some basic things as well. So if I can put in an order this morning that my husband can get on the way home from work, that would be really good. I don't know if I'd be able to get a time. I think that I can get a time this afternoon or this evening to pick up, so I think that is what I'm going to try and do. I need to send out my email. I need to post my homeschool. I also need to check in with Patreon. Well, I did already check in with Patreon. We are trying to, well, I'm trying to find a better way for my community to share. I really like Patreon, except it does not give the option to share for the members to share pictures and videos, and I want that to be able to be part of our community. I feel like I don't want to just talk at my members. I want us to be able to converse well together, and it's kind of hard to organize all of the content. I have downloaded this band app. I sent out invites to my members that qualify for that level of membership, and we will see how that goes. I'm hoping that everybody gets on board with that. People were not wanting a Facebook group, which I totally understand, and it's kind of hard to keep everything in one program if there aren't some other options. So it is a little bit more cumbersome to use Patreon for members community, but we will see how it goes. Okay, so I need to post about the band app and put the invitation link on Patreon so that we can see if people actually want to use that or not. It's a free service, so, and my prayer group actually uses this. That's how I found out about it. So I also want to do homeschool planning from behind, and I have to record that. You'll notice I have nothing in the evening time block. We will have dinner, and then we'll see if I am doing anything in the evening. Okay, that's Wednesday. Happy Thursday, friends. Yesterday, oh my gosh. You know, I think Monday and Tuesday really just threw off my week, because in the afternoon on Monday, I was obviously dealing with the chicken thing, and on Tuesday, I was at the dentist with Lucy. Yesterday, I don't know what happened. Now, well, we were still doing homeschool after lunch, and I didn't start on my projects, and then I found out that my kids were doing a youth group thing last night, which I hadn't been planning on, which is why I did not make nachos last night, and so I was trying to get my kids ready for that. Yeah, so I didn't do any of this stuff. I feel like I've been really lazy this week, but it's not that I've been lazy, it's that I fell behind on Monday and Tuesday, and I just couldn't catch up yesterday. So it is what it is. Again, You have good weeks, you have bad weeks. This hasn't been a particularly bad week for homeschooling. We've been getting a lot of work done, which is good. I think I mentioned at the beginning of this video, we have 3 weeks left. Now it's about 2.5 weeks until our next homeschool break, quote unquote, but the majority of the kids' work will be done before that break, except for their math. And so just kind of like trying to get through all of that stuff, making sure that we're getting all the papers done, especially, you know, Emma and Jack. That's mainly what I'm concerned about, them getting their papers done and finishing up the last couple of books that they have. Did I clean my office? No. Did I do my spring refresh? No. Spend tracking I also did not do. I do have a pile of receipts right next to me that I need to enter into my spend tracking sheets, but when is that going to happen? Really, I don't know. It is March 23rd. Now, typically, this would be my monthly reset day, and I kind of feel like I need it to be, although I planned it for next week because this is such a long month and I didn't get my goals done until the first week in March. So I put off my monthly reset day to next Thursday. However, I feel like I need to do some stuff today. Right now, it is like I was up at 6, everybody was up early. Except for Jack. Jack just got out of bed. So I did an abbreviated AM routine because I was not up before my kids. When I'm not up before my kids, mainly Lucy, when I'm not up before Lucy, I need to get breakfast going immediately. I suck down my coffee, but I haven't done Bible yet. So even though I wrote down AM routine, it was not my normal routine. I chatted with my mom this morning at like 7. So it's, you know what? Let's be real, this wasn't an AM routine at all. So I'm going to white that out because I wasn't doing my AM routine this morning. Even though I was awake, that doesn't mean I'm doing my AM routine. Okay, so pulled pork nachos for dinner tonight. Jack and Lucy went to a youth group thing last night, so they all ate dinner there, and Emma and I were just at home watching Haven, and we finished an episode of Haven, and then we started watching Lost in Austin again, which if you've never seen that, I think it was a BBC mini series. It is so funny. It's about this girl who kind of like travels into Pride and Prejudice and switches places with Elizabeth, and Elizabeth comes to the modern world. It's really, I loved that mini series. It's so good. So it's on Freevee, so if you want to watch it for free, you certainly can. I did the Sam's order yesterday, and my husband is going to pick it up on the way home tonight. I started the laundry. Let's see. Today I have my live stream co-working session, and it's at 2:30, but I'm going to give myself 2 hours for that live stream. The other thing that happened yesterday was I posted my first homeschool planning video for 2023-2024, and I talked a lot about high school in that video, and I had so many emails and people contacting me, and then a lot of comments and a lot of other options for chemistry for high school that I have not considered. My list was like 10 different curriculums, and I think I have 3 or 4 from comments that people left on my video of other options that I had never even heard of. So I'm definitely going to add those to my list. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to research all of them and share all of them, because I had planned to do like a high school chemistry video, just kind of going through what I'm looking at out of all of the different options. Again, I'm still unsure if we're even going to do chemistry this coming year, or if I'm going to take a break and do maybe more of like a health and nutrition unit for the year and really focus on local food, agriculture, commercial agriculture, the differences in the foods that we have today versus, you know, prior to all the commercialization of agriculture, all of that kind of stuff, mainly because that I find really interesting, and I think that Emma would enjoy that as well. And I think I mentioned this in another either in this video or another video, that chemistry, it seems to be that there's two very distinct options for chemistry for high school. One is like science-minded, going into STEM fields in college, and the other one is like a brief introduction to chemistry with no math. And I kind of want something that's in between the two, because Emma is really strong in math. I think she's going to do great with the math side of chemistry. So I want to have that included, but I don't want something so incredibly in depth that it is killing her desire to do science, which biology has kind of done this year for her. Patreon check-in. I followed up on emails this morning. I was mainly working this morning, so I did breakfast early for Lucy, and then I worked. I don't need to write worked. Guys, I need more coffee. I'm struggling this morning until about 9, and then I got ready for the day. We've been talking in the Patreon community about our time inventories and habits and time blocking, and I've talked a lot about this. My morning time block has really gotten away from me. I guess maybe over the past several months it hasn't been that great. I think part of it is just because it's winter and it's so dark and cold that technically it's spring now, but we still have snow on the ground, with more snow coming this weekend and next week. So I'm still thinking winter, even though I wish it were really spring. What did I even write here? Oh my goodness. Okay. I have this big chunk of time in the morning because we really don't start school. My kids, my older two, will start school independently at between 8 and 9, and then I usually do school with Lucy from 9 to 10, and then read alouds and self-improvement, self-development, personal development from 10 to 11, and then the kids are still working on school until lunch. And then I have an afternoon block where Emma typically is doing some school and I work on my projects. But my morning block has been getting away from me. If I start working first thing in the morning, it's great. I am able to do that, but what I end up doing is getting sucked into my Facebook group where I'm constantly answering questions, and instead of giving myself a time limit, I just keep going in and answering more questions. And because it's just a lot of back and forth conversationally, which is fine, but when I do that in the morning, my day gets away from me and I haven't really gotten ready for the day. So that's kind of what happened this morning. Main homeschool network, that was a big time suck this morning too, but everybody has some really good questions in that group. Also need to edit tomorrow's video, which is going to be the last clean and declutter with me from my February homeschool break, which was right at the end of February. I have this video that I've wanted to post for several weeks and I just haven't edited it, but now I need to. I also need to edit my homeschool planning from behind video, because obviously when I do these videos, I'm super chatty and they are extremely long. I feel like there's a lot of information I'm trying to convey when I'm sharing this. I don't know if anybody actually watches an entire hour-long video of me chatting, but it really does actually help me manage my days as well. So I have the live stream this afternoon. I need to clean my office before that so it doesn't look like a disaster. I need to do my daily tasks, and I kind of feel like I'm not going to do read alouds today, and instead I'm going to focus on kind of like tidying the house. Typically that's a Friday thing that I do, but I haven't been doing a great job of keeping things tidy this week. I just feel like I need to get some stuff done this morning so that I'm not feeling so discombobulated or overwhelmed because of all the things that I see around the house. My plan during the live stream is to work on my spring refresh, because I'm not really sure what I'm going to do for the spring refresh since I'm not using the power sheets this year. I do have the power sheets. I did buy them for 2023. So I'm going to look at what the spring refresh is, but I do a lot more now, more based on like how the 2021 power sheets were with the mini goals and mini action plans for the quarter, as well as revisiting my goals. What's working well? Are there things I need to change? How are my habits going? That kind of stuff. So we'll see how it goes. I need to correct some Spanish tests and quizzes from Emma, and just general tidy. This doesn't look very good. The kids are doing homeschool right now, so I'll write that down. We are going to do homeschool right until 1 and probably do lunch a little bit later this morning, since we all are starting the day just a little bit later, even though we were all up early. It is what it is. Maybe do my spend tracking here. I need to do it, and I just have to sit down and do it. Okay. And then dinner, actually, Matt, we're doing these pulled pork nachos, but the nachos are in my Sam's order, so I'm going to do dinner here. At least it won't take long to throw those together. This is my this is my Thursday, guys. Happy Friday, friends. Yesterday was a really good day, I think. I got a lot of stuff done. I didn't get everything done. I did not do my spend tracking, which I thought I would do after the live stream. I didn't. I was just chatting with my kids, and I also did not edit my videos yesterday, but I did get quite a bit of cleaning and organizing done and just kind of getting my house in order for the weekend. Not completely, I do still have a little bit of stuff to do. So here we are, Friday, March 24th. I woke up this morning and I am just tired. I'm very tired. So I have my third cup of coffee today, and this week I have been drinking a lot of coffee. I don't know, maybe that's why I'm so tired, because I've been drinking so much coffee. It's just been kind of cold and gross, and I'm just needing a little caffeine to boost me up a bit. This morning I was up at 5:30, but I immediately started working because I totally forgot that, even though I wrote it down, I still forgot that I had to do my video for this morning. I did edit that though, and I posted it, so I'll leave a link in the description box. It's from our February vacation when I was doing all of my cleaning and organizing. It was like my last big cleaning day where I was going through homeschool books and talking a lot about what we have left to go through the end of the year, all of that kind of stuff, Lego organization, things like that. I did post it, but it still has the copyright checks going, and for some reason they have been running for hours at this point, and I have no idea why. So I don't know if the quality of the video is good or not, or if it's going to fix itself or what. So that's really frustrating, but I had to just post it because I was tired of waiting. Then I did run out to check my mom's mail because she's gone at the moment, and now it is 9:20 and I haven't really done anything today. I need to put away laundry that I had washed yesterday. I need to clean up the kitchen. I wanted to get the floors done this morning, but because it's kind of rainy and we have snow in the forecast again and muddy and just gross outside, I think I'm going to just vacuum and ignore washing the floors. In the spring, it's so hard. Our floors show everything. They're dark floors. We have a giant white dog. The mud and the footprints and everything shows up on it, and I really hate that. The floors are really nice when they're clean, but with 3 kids and a giant dog, they are rarely clean. So I just kind of deal with it, I guess. We had light floors in our last house, and so it wasn't as noticeable. Surface declutter. I got quite a bit done yesterday during our co-working live stream, which I can leave a replay. I mean, it's essentially, I'm using the Pomodoro technique where I work for 25 minutes and then we have a 5-minute break, and then I work for 25 minutes and we have a 5-minute break. But I ended up working a little bit on my spring goals refresh. I was really happy with that. I do still need to work on my action plans for Q2. which I have not done yet. These are printables from the Goal School, even though I'm not using the power sheets this year, partly because it's just so thin. And granted, this is also thin, but there's just not much in this that I need to work with. There was barely any prep work. I know that they said that they really haven't decreased the amount of prep work, but they streamlined it so much and cut things down so much that I really didn't have a lot of room to flesh out things. And so I've just been using this Livestream notebook, and it's lined, and I've already filled up 64 pages. So I clearly need a lot more reflection space for my goals, but I'm feeling really good about my progress with the goals. So I might try and map out some of my Q2 action plans this afternoon. I really have to be in the right frame of mind to do goal planning, and sometimes I think I might do okay with it, and then other times, and then I realize, oh no, it's not a good day for it. Just because if my attitude is not good going into the reflection session or the planning session for goals, I'm either really pessimistic or I can be too unrealistic about what I'm going to accomplish, what I want to accomplish. I already have some really good ideas that I fleshed out yesterday. I'm not sure if I will use all of those or not, but hopefully I will. I need to record my homeschool planning. I'm putting it on my to-do list and in my blog section, my work section, because I'm doing this week of daily planning from behind for homeschool planning this week because I didn't plan on Sunday, which is fine. At this point in the year, I know what we need to do and the kids know what they need to do, so it's not essential that I write it out. I forgot to record my homeschool planning yesterday. I did not write anything out. We spent a lot of time working on this book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. We were going through this little like a personality assessment, but not really. I mean, it was just kind of a fun thing to figure out if the kids were grapes, oranges, bananas, or melons. And lo and behold, Jack and Emma are the complete opposite, which I just thought was really funny. So we had a lot of fun working through that yesterday. That actually took up a good bit of my afternoon, and why I was not doing my spend tracking, because we were finishing up discussion about that. So I need to do the homeschool planning. I need to do cleaning the kitchen. I want to continue. I did a general tidy yesterday and got things pretty organized. And then I went to my live stream, and when my live stream was done, all of the surfaces in my kitchen were covered with craft things again. Lucy set up like a manicure, pedicure business, quote unquote, to do for Emma and Jack, and there was craft stuff out all over the table. So every time I clean off a surface, it gets covered again. That's okay. I also want to update my book journal, also Goodreads, because I don't think I've put any of the books that I've read in March in Goodreads. It's been kind of a slow reading month for me. I mean, for me, I think I've read maybe 12 or 14 books, but like this entire past week, I haven't finished any books, and that's kind of abnormal for me. I started, I think maybe 8 books and got about 25 or 30% in, and just wasn't that interested. Not that they were bad books, but I'm very much a mood reader, and they were not catching my interest. I think that I do actually have a book that is coming out, or came out yesterday, that I will probably end up reading. A Kingdom of Venom and Vows by Holly Renee. Yes. So that is, I think, the second book in the series, or no, it might be the third book in the series. I will leave a link for those books in the description box if you're interested. It's a fantasy series, and I really enjoyed the first couple of books. And then spend tracking. Guys, I wrote it down every single day this week, and I didn't do it once. I don't need to do it every day, and that's probably why I am like, oh, okay, I can just push it off. But I really want to get everything updated in my financial planner, which currently right now I'm using a binder, which I hate a binder. for working out of, but it is what it is. I checked in with my main homeschool network. We're over 5,800 members now, and so I just did my welcome post this morning, welcoming new members. I can't believe that we have that many members in that Facebook group. When I took the group over, it was essentially a non-existent group. Like, nobody participated. The previous admin had graduated her daughter, and so she wasn't interested in adminning the group anymore. I think we had like 200 members and 5 of them were active. One of them was me, and then a couple were graduating. They're homeschoolers. And so anyways, I took that over, I think right at the end of 2018, and it has just grown tremendously over the past several years, and that's really exciting. I checked in with my Patreon. That was another thing that I was doing yesterday, was writing up my exclusive content for my Patreon community, which I think I may have talked about yesterday earlier in this video. It was a continuation of working through our time inventories and looking at patterns, considering decision fatigue, and utilizing a yes and no list to remove some of that decision fatigue. Also figuring out systems so that you are making active decisions, but you're not having to constantly make those decisions. It's not that it becomes a passive decision, but that you institute a habit so that you are not having to think about it so much. So it's still something that you are actively doing. It's not like you're letting something happen in your day, but it's cultivating a habit so that you're not having to constantly think about it, which I think is super important. And if you're interested in that entire series on rhythms and systems, you can join the Patreon. I always have a link in the description box to the Patreon community. So today is our screen-free day. It's going to be a lighter homeschool day as well. Hopefully I will have some time to work on projects. But, and I think I've mentioned this in several videos, when we have our screen-free day, it ends up being, and not that this is bad at all, it ends up being a lot of me and the kids talking throughout the day and really just spending time together, and it's super fun and I enjoy that. But I am hoping to get some of these other things done. I have no idea what I'm going to make for dinner tonight. Last night we had pulled pork nachos, which so good. Obviously that was just a one night meal, and now I don't really have anything. I think I'm gonna make stir fry for dinner. And then even though it's screen-free day, we still do movies on Friday nights. Not sure if we're gonna do family movie or if we're gonna break off. Jack and Matt are watching The Hunger Games. Emma and I finished up season 2 of Haven last night, which ended on a cliffhanger, but we might watch like a girly movie too. I don't know. All right, so this is what my Friday is looking like. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that it's helpful to you. I know that I'm so chatty in these videos, but I really like to share my thought process and all of the things that I'm trying to do. Also, when I'm really unsuccessful, which happens quite often actually. You know, no day is ever a perfect day, no matter how much planning I try to do, but trying to mitigate some of the little interruptions is helpful, and making sure that I'm staying true to my time blocks, which is why I do this in the morning, is important to me. Now, obviously my project time, it changes. Even though I could technically have this huge block of time for projects, if my kids want to chat with me, or if I'm helping them with something else, or they have something they want to work on for homeschool or have questions for me, that always takes precedence to me. So again, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks guys, bye.